that like ruby thing he stole was huge and wild looking. It was like distractingly. He takes it out, and I was like, "What?"
It's
that
like
was
the
wild.
ruby that Abu was gonna grab in the Cave of Wonders.
God.
Like
he's like, "Oh, here it is."
Yeah, exactly.
That was literally the only thing that scene was missing. Oh my god.
Hello. Do you want to play a game?
What's your favorite scary movie?
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
See dead people.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Here's Johnny.
The power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you!
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Welcome to Talking Horror with Jamie and Nikisha.
Hi, I'm Jamie.
And I'm Nikisha, and this is Talking Horror with Jamie.
And Nikisha.
Where we share our love for all things scary and talk horror through the lens of human behavior. I was about to switch my words around and say talking lens through the horror, and I didn't know how that was going to flow. But we made it out alive. Welcome. Round of applause. We're still in October, heavy into spooky season. So exciting. So much fun content coming your way with spooky things that we will be doing. So keep track of that. But you're here today because we are talking about the 2009 horror film, The Collector.
What's that box doing in our bedroom?
I don't know. Maybe one of the crew left it.
When'd they do that?
I don't know.
When is it?
A card for the collection.
No, Larry. No.
Jesus, call that!
Get collected.
Get collected.
I almost said this
in the film.
Well,
in the film,
yes.
Get collected.
And
I want a T-shirt that says "Get collected," and then
Actually,
like on the back
that's
is
a
like
great
his
shirt.
eyes through the mask.
Oh.
Ooh, I would wear that shirt.
I mean, I actually would. Yeah, that
Yes,
started
like,
as a
I would
joke,
wear
and I was
that
like, I want that swag.
Exactly.
Well, if they ever make a third one, I'm gonna make sure that they send us some swag.
Yes. Amazing. Well, why we chose this actually wasn't any of our ideas. We have a guest. If you are watching us on the YouTubes, you see another fourth square. Hi, let's all welcome Josh from Hunting Season.
Hey!
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We're so happy to have you here with us. We'll get into everything with The Collector, why you chose it, all the things. But just tell us again, for those who haven't or don't know you, or which podcast episode did we do, Brian, with Josh?
Debbie, our girl Debbie.
Oh, good old Debbie.
And then our best friend Leslie and Debbie.
Vernon.
Yes.
I think about that movie all the time.
I know.
Excellent recommendation.
Yes.
I know when we do recommendations at the end, that was going to be one of them. And I was like, I do that every time. And of course, we did a whole episode on it.
Yeah.
But it's so good. Like every time, it's such a great film. So
You gotta watch it.
Yes. Well, watch that movie and then watch our episode on it. But also, if you haven't seen our episode on Deb Logan, watch that as well. You'll see Josh. But yes, Josh, tell us a little bit about what you do, your content, and share your handles for everyone.
Yeah. These days, I'm not so sure. I'm kind of all over the place. But I started out telling scary stories on YouTube. I did a podcast for a while. I took off on TikTok during the pandemic. Now I'm kind of finding my way in producing movies, being a creative producer, and also creating, I don't know, I want to say they're like mini documentaries. I got to go on this trip recently to the Reno Tahoe territory. I did it last year. I did it again this year, but this time I brought my friends Brian and Mike of Charm City Paranormal does ghost hunts paranormal investigations, and we've always wanted to work together. And so we did 2 paranormal investigations and just like wandered around Nevada.
Cool.
And
Wow.
yeah, and so I've just started releasing that content, and it's made me realize, like, I mean, I work in documentary for a living. It makes sense that I should be doing that kind of thing, because that's always what's been the content that does the best. Like, I'll go to a convention and I'll interview someone about their art, and then that video will take off and be like, man, I'm not even in this one. This is awesome. You know, so yeah, I'm kind of all over the place, but I got a movie coming out next year. I've done a couple of shorts this year, and yeah, now I'm just kind of like wandering around Nevada.
That's awesome. Cool. I watched some of that content. It's awesome. But I also really liked your Midsummer Scream content that you kind of alluded to a little bit. I thought that was just great. The interviews, the fun. I think your editing is electric in terms of the short form, at least for those, and really makes me want to go.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's like a pilgrimage every year. It's like the greatest I've ever felt is those 3 days of just absolutely standing on concrete for 12 straight hours. For 3 days. You walk away like almost paralyzed from your body taking the toll of that, but your heart just so uplifted that you almost can't feel the pain.
Wow. That's incredible. But I mean, not incredible for you because you were in pain, but incredible because it was fulfilling for you.
I'm always in pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, we're so stoked that you're here again with us to talk about The Collector. So a little bit about this movie. It was directed by Marcus Dunstan and written by Dunstan and Patrick Melton. And it stars Josh Stewart, Michael Rowley Burke, Andrea Roth, Juan Fernandez, Carly Scott Collins, Madeline Zima, and Robert Wisdom, just to name a few people. So heavy spoilers if you have not seen The Collector. It is streaming now on Prime. And Jamie, please hit us with all of those lovely trigger warnings.
Yeah, there's a lot. This movie has loads of insides on the outside. Just like, and it, again, trigger warning. It is not only people who are, getting their insides on the outside, unfortunately. So if you are disturbed by any like animal harm, definitely a trigger warning. Also, like, I mean, yeah, we don't know how old the like older daughter is, but like she's still young, so like young people still getting got. Pretty triggering. Just like a variety of very Rube Goldberg ways to murder people. Between like, I'm just like sticky acid floor, bear traps, like
fish hooks,
fish hooks, chandelier falling, loads of blades in places,
bugs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, lots of bugs. Yeah, if you do not like bugs, definitely a trigger warning for bugs.
Yes.
Yeah, like being hung by wires, and yeah, it's pretty gruesome. Also
in
putting
closed
people
spaces.
I was gonna say putting people in trunks.
Yes. What's in the
God,
box?
Yeah. Too much.
I
feel like that's pretty much.
Well, there's also a derogatory like anti-gay.
Oh
slur
yes.
Several times in one scene.
I blocked that out of my mind.
I totally I blocked unpleasant things out of my head. Yeah.
That's very important trigger. Okay, well, before we get into everything that is a collective, producer Brian is going to give us a couple words.
Sure. Hey, everybody. Hi, YouTube. Thanks so much for watching us. Everyone who's got their earballs in us, thank you for listening. We are also on social media at Talk Horror Pod. You can find us on Instagram, on TikTok. Please make sure to follow us there. We're doing some fun stuff. Movies that we do not cover on the podcast proper, we definitely cover there. So definitely check us out there. We really would like you to put in a good word. So write a review for us. For instance, You can do it on Spotify. You can do it on Apple Podcasts. You can also do it like just put a comment on our YouTube video. That's cool too. For instance, Jojo Denko64 said, I recently discovered you guys on Spotify. I'm glad I tuned into this episode on YouTube because I really got my first prescription for glasses. Oh, nice. I appreciate your chemistry. I'm watching from Colorado. Oh, cool. All right. Thanks, Jojo. Very nice.
Sweet.
Yes.
Love that. Now they can really, explore through the lens of mental health and human behavior.
Yes. Fantastic. Thank you.
We need to get sponsored.
That's so funny. I guess that's so funny. Cool. Thank you, Jojo. Cool. That's it. That's all I got. Next
Jojo.
week is Halloween H2O. So watch Halloween H2O, and Matt Woods is coming back as our guest for our Halloween episode. So Halloween H2O, we're gonna mostly be talking about bad haircuts. So just like get ready for that episode.
So many great rants to be had with that movie.
Is that the one with Paul Rudd?
No. This is Paul Rudd is in the the sequel timeline with from the early 90s. H2O is Michelle Williams and what's his name from 30 Days a Night?
Josh Hartnett.
That one.
Oh, and LL Cool J.
I was gonna say, isn't there a rapper in there?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
LL Cool J. Yes. Fantastical. Okay. Do you want to talk about what we watched? Have you watched things this week?
Well, Josh, have you watched anything recently that you're like, totally, we got to talk about it quickly?
I mean, not really. October's kind of, it's so weird, but I talk about horror stuff all year long. So while everybody else is talking about it, I kind of like scale back. And I haven't made it to the movie theater since Downton Abbey came out. So the one and only thing is I watched The Black Phone. I rewatched The Black Phone because the second one's coming out and I'm very excited for it.
Oh, yeah. Yes. What about you, Brian?
We watched. There's like 20 something movies we watched, so we'll do that. We'll do that when we do our VHS Halloween episode, which you've heard already. So yeah. So never mind on that one.
Yes.
But Jamie and I rewatched The Collector, and then we were like, "Screw it, let's watch The Collection," which we had not seen before.
Okay.
I haven't seen it yet.
So we watched.
We just
The
went right into it.
Yeah, we just watched right. So we did watch The Collection. We won't spoil anything here. But we enjoyed it a lot. That was a big one. But everything else that I've watched, we watched
the TV show.
Oh
no, that's from. Oh no, They's another TV show. No, was it Wes Craven?
Wes Craven presents.
But he didn't do anything with it.
We watched that in my Haunting Season movie club where I digitized my VHS tapes and we watched them as a group.
Nice.
Yeah. It was a good one. That was a good one to rip apart in the comments.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Jamie and Brian's face were like, uh-oh.
No. That
was like a 2-day watch because it was so hard to
I fell asleep.
We only watch bad movies in our group.
They was not a good movie. They made a bad movie.
Okay.
But yeah, those are the most recently. That's what we watched.
I think it's so rude. Sorry, just to be rude. No, I think it's so rude that they put John Carpenter Presents and then you think it's a John Carpenter movie. They do this a lot with like Eli or Wes Craven, same thing. Yeah. But they'll do it with like Eli Roth. Like for the longest time, I thought The Sacrament was Eli Roth, and I was like, Eli Roth fucking slaps. And then I realized it's actually Ty West. Yeah, and you're like, oh, why was
we got fooled. So I at least thought he was an executive producer on it. But it's just they paid him to put his name on it.
So wild.
Which
is bad.
Wild. I mean, and we had the same conversation in a previous podcast just with like Jordan Peele when they say it's produced by him. So people think that it's actually written by him and it's not the case. And then have a certain expectation and that's not what it is.
Sure.
But yes. What's the runtime for They?
Too long.
I think it was...
Yeah,
no,
90 minutes
90
too long.
minutes.
Yeah, like an hour 26 maybe, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Goodness gracious.
Don't worry.
Yeah, literally 90 minutes.
Yeah, that was a. We watched that movie. Yeah, that was a long like week.
Yes. For 90
in
minutes.
an hour and a half. Yeah.
Got it. Well, the only thing that I did watch was Audition.
Shit.
Yes.
You just buried the lead. Like you, damn.
It was crazy. I mean, of course, I love my listicles and watch all of the things that, tell me, spoil all the movies for me, right? And so I knew a lot of what was going to happen in this. So a lot of the movie was just me waiting for those things to happen. And it does take a second to get there.
Sure.
But when we do get there, it is very satisfying. It's wild. It's crazy. But I had a really good time. The whole concept of, this is just general information, not spoiling it for anyone, but just auditioning to find a wife and it just going all kinds of wrong ways was great. So it was a very fun watch.
That's the thing. Like if you even if you know what's coming, you kind of get caught up in that part of the story for so long that it becomes a shock again when things go awry.
Exactly. And it was nice getting like more backstory, right, to how everything unfolds. So I was really grateful that they did give some context for why things were happening, because sometimes you don't get that in movies. And
totally. And that's what something, just to relate it, that's something I think that this collector does very well. Like the exposition and making everything more effective in the back half of the movie.
Absolutely. Well, that's a great segue, Brian. Let's talk about The Collector, but we need a 2-minute plot summary. And since we have a guest, Josh is going to give us that 2-minute plot summary.
What's the plot?
I'm actually prepared this time. Last time I wasn't. All right. Take Home Alone, age up Kevin, and make it rated R. The collector follows a blue-collar worker who decides to rob the house of a family he's contracted to work for. But when he shows up that night, he finds a maniacal home invader in a terrifying mask, like legit terrifying, has rigged the entire home with some of the most depraved booby traps you've ever seen in your life. The kicker, the entire family has been held hostage, including a little girl. It's got the visual style of Saw, the grit and color of House of a Thousand Corpses, but it's relatively unparalleled in its brutality. Will our main guy be able to save the family before they become part of the collection? Watch and find out. And then I wrote, P.S. there's animal harm, and it's wild. And P.P.S. there's a derogatory anti-gay slur used a few times in the scene, but it's 2009, so like, Are we surprised?
Right.
Nah.
It's the tail end of that kind of bullshit, but it's like
for sure.
Bill and Ted has it,
Yeah, the first Fast and Furious has it, like in the first scene.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, and famously, The Hangover.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is very late. Very late in the timeline.
All right, you had like 20 seconds left, so excellent job.
And I love it, and it's awesome, and you should watch it.
And that's the plot.
Amazing. Well, let's start off with our first segment, Trick or a Treat, where we let you know right off the top, was it a treat? We loved it, or we don't know how we feel about it, or straight up trick, we did not like it.
Trick treat.
So, Josh, is this a trick or a treat for you?
Absolute treat. Absolute treat. It was suggested to me by Chuck. If you don't follow Chuck, you gotta follow Chuck. He talks like this. He was like, nobody's talking about The Collector, and it's gonna fucking blow your mind. And I was like, if Chuck says it, I gotta watch it. And I popped it on and was instantly just like blown away by just how it looks. And then the story caught me and everything.
Amazing.
That was a spectacular Chuck impression, by the way.
Jamie, how about you?
This is a treat.
And producer Brian?
Oh, an absolute treat.
For me, it started off and then it went to a treat. I'll explain why when we get into likes and gripes.
And now our likes and gripes.
So, because we have our special guest, Josh, you chose this movie. Please tell us why you chose this for the podcast, and then give us your likes and gripes.
I chose it for the, you know, there's just a continuation of what I've been saying. Like I put it on and I wasn't sure if it was going to be for me. Some of this like intense horror that people suggest, like Martyrs, you know, like I never want to watch again. And I have trouble with brutality for brutality's sake, except for if it's super creative and fun for some reason.
Yeah,
like
sure.
I used to say, like with the movie Saw, I like those movies because the villain has like a real purpose. I have no idea what the purpose is of the collector. And it doesn't matter to me. There's just something magic about this movie. And as a person who makes film, who's a cinematographer, I just love the look and feel and the grittiness and the color. There's like a shot where the whole scene is like neon green, but still the person in the foreground who's covered in blood is lit with white light and red blood, and the green's not on them. And just like being able to technically get that correct, and also just like have it feel organic at the same time. It's just like really, it's a really, really cool movie. Plus like booby traps are always going to win me over.
That's absolutely fair. I do want to just piggyback off of what you were saying about how this movie was shot, because you mentioned Saw, which is what I felt right off the bat as well. But then also the grittiness of it. I think I'm just not, I don't like that kind of filming. So in the beginning, a lot of like the harsh grittiness of everything, and kind of the quick shots back and forth between different things that were happening just took me out the tiniest bit of it. And you also mentioned House of a Thousand Corpses, which is Rob Zombie, yeah. And I also felt that vibe too, which I was not a fan of that movie, but I think the traps also got me. And all that to say, it was like immediately when I got to the traps, because I love Saw, then everything else about how the movie was shot, it made me more so just focus on like, okay, now we're in the traps. Now everyone's trying to figure out a way out. And this is what I came to see. And it doesn't take that long to get there, which is also nice. But just at the beginning, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this movie.
These guys wrote this movie as a spec script for a spin-off prequel of Saw, for how Jigsaw became how he was. But they were denied by Lionsgate. But because they loved the script so much, these guys wrote Saw 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Oh, wow.
And they got the collector made. They kept the script and just like tweaked it so that it wasn't Jigsaw, the collector. And that is that's some of the research I did on that, which is fascinating because it has that in its DNA, but like it still feels wholly the vision of an auteur, as opposed to the Saw films, which are like made to feel, except for maybe Spiral, made to feel like the same as each one previous. But that's part of the charm of this one for me. It just it feels like it has such character to it. I just feel like very rarely do you find a horror movie of this type that feels like it is a unique voice versus kind of like cut and paste, if you will.
Yeah, I totally agree, because the intentions are very clear. Like I said, when you immediately watch this movie, you think about Saw, you think about Rob Zombie. And like, so I feel like the intentions were clear. And I agree too, it's something that's different. So you were also mentioning, Brian, about how you liked the exposition in this movie. And I agree. I also love how I didn't need to know anything about the collector either. Just let him do his thing. Let him run rampant. We want to be attached to who are going to be the potential victims, right? Like that's what's going to draw us in. So we don't need to know anything about this killer, except for he makes really awesome traps. So,
and he doesn't seem completely random. Like he seems methodical, like he's done this a million times, like, like without ever really saying anything or showing his face, or, like so much of it's a mystery. You kind of know so much just by the expanse of what's going on inside the house.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's all that you need. I know a lot of the times we're like, where is this coming from? Why is this happening? But when it's executed correctly, you don't ask those questions. You just go along for the ride. I feel like that's what really this movie is. Josh, do you have any more likes and gripes for this movie? Or any gripes at all? I'm sure no.
I don't like cockroaches. I don't really have gripes. A few more likes are that like around the hour mark, like an hour 6, it kind of feels like it's ending, and then obviously it's longer than an hour 6 minutes. So I love when that happens, when you're like, oh man, I can't believe it's over. We get more. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's like waking up at 5 a.m. and being like, my alarm doesn't go off for another 2 hours.
Yes, best feeling in the world.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure other stuff, but yeah, there's just so much that I like about it.
Yeah. Well, I'll piggyback off because I don't have much more to say for this. But my first note, which you've already mentioned, this was the Home Alone thing. I'm like, this is Home Alone if it was horror, and I'm into it. That cat scene with whatever sticky acid on the ground was so intense, but beautifully shot. An image that is burned in my brain forever. So I just put like, dang, he got the cat. And then the whole dog situation I thought was so gnarly, but so genius of a move for him to throw the dog at him because to block him being shot. I'm RIP the dog. So sorry. Love dogs, but that was a smart ass move, and I'm just going to leave it at that to do.
Yeah. What I like about, this is a weird sentence. What I like about the animal harm in this film is that it's not meant to make you sick to your stomach. And I feel like a lot of times when there's like a dog that dies or a cat that dies in a movie, it's like, you're like, no, don't do it. But you kind of, in this one, you're like, oh, you know?
Absolutely. And, you know, we always talk about fuck them kids on the podcast, but like this movie really was like, fuck them animals. And,
yeah, that's true.
Was really, really wild. I absolutely loved the mask, and I loved his glowy eyes.
Yeah.
So impressive. So, and yet so simple, but so effective, so creepy. It makes it look like it's different faces, kind of like Texas Chainsaw. You know, like it feels like the mask could have been made out of like just different skin parts that were put together. Yeah, which I just really, really appreciated. I also just appreciated how our lead guy was making some pretty smart, quick decisions to try to stay alive. And then it kind of makes you wonder like more of what his background is, because it feels like he's doing some like military X shit, and it was great. The whole movie felt very and this is very 2000s, when you have actual soundtracks that have like actual songs in them, and it felt very like emo punk, you know,
the opening. Well, the juxtaposition of that like intense opening credit sequence into the emo song when they're all working on the house, like just set a really nice tone, because it was still kind of gritty editing and harsh in some ways with the shots of the bugs, like again juxtaposing with kind of like this like homey scene. That soundtrack usage, I thought, just like really the world building in this movie is excellent, and it's not just a visual and a script thing, it's very much the sound editing and all of that really helped to build this world, to get us to kind of like usher us in, if you will.
Absolutely. Everything felt so intentional and so specific. Like, we are wanting to y'all to envision a certain like aspect of horror movies, or see what our influences are. And like we said, I feel like they executed that very well. Speaking of title cards, I love the end title card more than the first one. When it pops out at the end, but then the scene is still going for a little bit. I just really enjoyed that, especially because we don't get a happy ending for this. And so then for it to just be like chaos. Okay, title card. Yeah, we are really kind of done. And, was really cool. But My only gripes were just starting off. I was like, I don't know if I will be into this type of movie, but the traps got me because I love Saw. So it was just like, I want to see how they get out of all of this. And that bear trap scene, I was also waiting for when they have the the wires that can like cut through your skin and bones. I was just waiting for someone to just run smack into that and their whole body just like fall apart.
Yes. What did we watch? Oh, Cube has that at the beginning. We just watched that. Yeah.
Have you seen Cube 2 Hypercube?
No.
Title.
Yeah, so there short story, long story short. There was one Thanksgiving my freshman year where like I just didn't want to go home, so I stayed on campus, and my friend had a bunch of burned DVDs, and one of them was Saw, one of them was what were we just talking about? My brain's like racing. Cube 2 Hypercube, not the original, just the second one, and then The Crow, and I watched those all like that week, and then a couple others. Yeah, but man, Cube 2 Hypercube for me is the Cube movie, but also the Cube remake is really great. This isn't an episode about Cube. It could be.
No, but good suggestions. I'll put it on the list.
Do the Cube franchise next time.
Okay, great. Fantastic. That's all that I have for likes and gripes. Jamie, would you like to go?
Sure. I feel like a lot of things have been said. This was the second time that I've seen this, but I had like known about this movie for a while before I saw it for the first time. And yeah, I mean, like the intentionality behind it, it really poses such an interesting question of like, you know, what is compelling somebody to, you know, do the right thing in dire circumstances, and like just seeing kind of even though he's moving very quickly, but like there's a lot of like evaluating and decision making that's happening, and like through this particular avenue of like horrifying things are happening, like you have to be really compelled to want to stick around for these people that like they, you know, you're seeing the way that they are being treated, and you are still there, and like it's really surprising. And I feel like, you know, when you're reflecting on yourself, it's like, would I do that? Like, am I a nice enough person to like selflessly try to help a whole family, even though the risk of me also getting caught is like pretty high?
Especially when your stakes are to save your family.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, like that is what has brought you there in the first place. And you have built this like relationship with this family. So it's not just this like, you know, stranger home invasion situation. So it adds to the stakes, and it is way more compelling compared to just like your, you know, gore for gore's sake. And I feel like the beginning of the movie, kind of similar to what Nikisha was saying, is a little bit, something is missing. Like it feels a little bit soft. And then when you get more of his character, it instantly becomes more interesting. Like I felt like they maybe could have done a little bit more with like all of a sudden his wife is just saying like, oh, you know, the loan sharks. And it's like, what? Huh? What's going on? And I guess we don't really need that much of that, because really the core of the movie is just like these horrifying traps and, you know, him navigating them and trying to save people. But I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Seems like not the strongest. I mean, yes. And there's also like this tension between them, but I don't know. I just kind of was like, all right. And these are like very minor gripes. Like these are not enough things to take me out of liking this movie. That like ruby thing he stole was huge and wild looking. It was like distractingly. He takes it out, and I was like, "What?"
It's that like was the wild. Ruby that Abu was gonna grab in the Cave of Wonders.
God.
Like
he's like, "Oh, here it is."
Yeah, exactly.
That was literally the only thing that scene was missing. Oh my god.
The overall shine.
Oh my god. That's so good. Yeah, that's literally the only thing that scene was missing.
Yes.
And then
for cargo pants, because they fit.
Yeah. And then what happens to it? Like, I'd love to know, did the collector take it and like that's how he, you know, starts the collection. No spoilers. But the other thing, and I guess I don't entirely know how much time this all took, but he has that house like hardwired up so intensely with like cranks and levers and wires and like, you know, the bear trap's fine. You spread out a bunch of bear traps, but like he embedded these things into the structure of this home in a way that I find unfathomable. Again, I still really like this movie and they're really gross and gnarly, but like how did he do that? And how much time did it take him to do all of this?
Yeah, and like let's just say that he was setting all this up while his exterminating team, like during the day and stuff like that. That's still too much stuff for no like.
But wait, hold on though, because like when at what like what's the timeline? Because it seems like he set up all this stuff after he captured the family, because none of it's gone off yet.
No, so I have a lot of questions about this as well. So this is a good time.
No,
no, but like it's just like the logistics and operations behind.
Yeah,
he's the COO, the collector operations
officer,
whatever the last thank you. So yeah, I just want to know like what do we think is happening? How did he do all of this?
All right, this is my explanation. My explanation is that when they were doing construction on the house, that's when he was installing the things like behind the like drywall and all that stuff. But then everyone left for the night, the construction workers, because they knew that they were going on vacation. So he captures them, he ties them up and does whatever. Then he takes a couple hours to set up the house and then he's good. But here's my real question. Why is he setting up the house like this? Does he intend to let them go free? Does he not have trust his own skills of keeping people tied up? Did he know the guy was coming that night and he wanted to hunt him as well? Who was he trying to collect before the guy came in? Like, was he collecting the father because that's why he was upstairs? Or does he collect the person who sees the box first? Because but that's not true, because the wife saw the box first in the cold open. So he was clearly coming for the man in the top of the first one. So I have a lot of questions about the collector's collecting habits. Does he and why would he even set up the house this way? Like, yes, the daughter was out. Was this all for the daughter and the boyfriend to come home? Like, just in case they escaped, he just wanted to give them a little escape room in every room. Like, that's my question. Why?
Well, because also he's got to wrap things up, right? Like, he doesn't leave all his traps behind, or is he some kind of millionaire trapper? Yeah, so he's got to clean up his mess too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great questions. We need answers. People who wrote this, please get in contact with us. Let us know what the intention is.
ASAP.
Why were the traps set up? For whom? If he already captured the people that he wanted to capture. Yes.
The people want to know.
The people want to know.
Yes, we do want to know, but also it's kind of a great exercise in showing that if your movie kicks ass,
yes,
it doesn't have to make sense.
100%. If I am deeply satisfied by the end, I will overlook any logistical weird things. There was something we watched recently where there was one logistical thing I did. Oh, weapons. Yes. Did you see Weapons, Josh?
Yeah.
There's no way that a couple more of those cameras didn't catch them all running into that house. There's no way that the town would just kind of stop looking for them a month later. There's no there's some logistical things in that movie that there's no way that the wife and husband of Alex, the little boy, the parents of Alex, their jobs didn't call. The sister he stayed with, the aunt didn't call and didn't where are my all that stuff. But it doesn't fucking matter, because at the end of that movie I was so satisfied and I didn't care at all that's the stuff I think about weeks later. I'm just like, oh, it doesn't matter. That was fun.
I thought you were going to say that you were mad that they misrepresented the the beer and liquor sales in Pennsylvania.
They did. They did. That was a big one too. That's not what a state-owned Pennsylvania. As someone who lives in Philadelphia, that's not what they look like. But like, doesn't matter. It's cool shot on roller skates. Anyway, that was my tangent. Sorry.
Jamie, do you have any more likes and gripes?
Not a like or a gripe, but something I find really interesting is that Madeline Zima, who plays the older sister, is also from The Nanny. She's the little girl from The Nanny, which like weirds me out that she's in this movie.
And if you watch Cinderella Story with Hilary Duff, she's one of the stepsisters in that movie. Yes.
Oh no.
I forgot she was on The Nanny, but the first thing I thought of was A Cinderella Story with Hilary Duff. But she's in that movie. So that was a very interesting scene, seeing all of her like that. I'm like, you're a Disney girl.
No. Oh yes, trigger warning, there's nudity.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
A little belated.
Yes. Amazing. That's all, Jamie, for you?
I think so.
Okay. Gorgeous. Producer Brian, take us home.
Cool. I'm just going to read my list.
Yes.
Solid cold open with a nice little clue. When the wife says, like, do you think the crew left it? Meaning that, like, it seems like he has a method of getting hired for these jobs on, like, house remodelings, and then kind of does it that way. The credits make it feel like it's Saw with the colors and energy, the emo intro we mentioned, the spiders, and the exterminator truck. So this was the second time we watched this movie. The first time we watched this movie, when in my head, I was like, Nikisha, this is something you and I talk about, like in Sleepaway Camp. There was something just like stuck out at the beginning where I was like, they just linger on this exterminator truck, and then he talks to this doesn't make sense. This is a clue, and my brain works like that. And then once we find out that like he's not the collector, like because there's a lot of red herrings that like maybe he's the bad guy or whatever it is, like oh shit, that's the exterminator 100%. And then once they like reveal that, I was like cool. But like the little clues, obviously, like all the bugs that they cut into it and stuff like that. It's just a tight script. It's really fun, and it makes you feel good. Like something this gruesome and brutal can still make you feel good. You know what I mean? Like it scratches an itch.
Satisfying.
Yeah, it's very satisfying. I thought that the setup and relationships were very effective, and they justified all character reactions in a high-stake environment. You get him with the daughter. You get the husband giving him the extra money, showing that like he's empathetic too. You're setting up that relationship. You know, obviously they're setting up some red herrings, like he's a creep having tea with the daughter. He's a creep looking at the wife, or he's a creep giving the kid a cigarette, like stuff like that. But like, I like how the movie reframes all of that stuff. Later on, where like he's actually not looking at the wife, he's looking at the mirror behind the safe behind the mirror, like stuff like that. I appreciated that. I also agree with Jamie. I think this movie character wise really kicks off in the car when he's basically being like 50-50. I feel like we get we really get to see that character for who he actually is when his kid and baby mama are like on the line, and I that was cool, especially with that red lighting in the car. I really liked that. It just gave us this like real sense of urgency. I think that there are too many spiders. Spiders are icky. He's still a bad dude for a good cause, and I love that. What I like about this movie also is you really think you know where it's going. Once it's the reveal that he's the one been casing the house and he's gonna break in, you're like, oh shit, like this dude is not who we think he is. And then there's another twist. These twists feel very subtle, but they're the plot of the movie, and I think that's so well done, because I actually think the plot of this and the way that this movie progresses forward is all incredibly natural, incredibly organic, and I think the script just flows really nicely. I never feel like anything this movie is kind of like inevitable in like the things that happen, but it's surprising along the way. And I just like the first time we watched this was like 2 years ago, and Jamie and I on a Sunday afternoon were like, "Oh, The Collector's supposed to be good. Let's just like watch it on lazy Sunday." And like halfway through the movie, we're like, "What the fuck did we just put on?" Like this was not what we were ready for. So like today, I was very excited to rewatch it. The release of information is fantastic. Also, the editing, the like cutaway cross section of the top of the house and seeing people going in and out of rooms and how they're just missing each other, just like heightens that sense of tension and urgency. I thought that was really well done. Again, when did he set up the rules? Do people usually escape? Did he create a fun house? They all kind of tied up. I like how this movie does combine torture porn with some sense of meaning or message. So I appreciated that. Oh my god, the lightning reveal of the wires where he like quickly turns and cuts his cheek that Nikisha had mentioned. What an amazingly memorable shot or collection of shots.
Collection.
Yes.
And it feels crazy that he didn't encounter any traps before getting to the safe. I mean, I guess the dog was a trap outside, but like, I guess the path to the safe was just like super easy to get to, but I didn't really care. But that's also a situation where like they didn't show us that on purpose because they wanted the reveal of the trap. So he could have just been missing all of them. I love how Larry's like, "I'm the bait." And you're like, "Larry, get back in the box. You're not the bait, buddy." Like,
we're so past
come
that.
on, bro.
Poor Larry.
Yeah, Larry, you're not the center of attention, buddy. Like, come on. And he like willingly went back into that box. And then I wrote like he just like let him back in the box. Like, oh, he was chained. I didn't realize that at the time, but that was funny. The chaos. The editing in this scene with the chaos of the mother's decision making just before she gets stabbed and running to the top, when she sees the husband, he's like, "Don't look, stay with me, look at my back, don't look anywhere." Like he's doing his best to kind of like contain what he imagines is going to be a very emotional moment. And then the chaos of the editing and the sound design of her decision making that moment, in contrast to his decision making, how that's edited throughout the movie, was so well done. And then he's still trying to get out, but the screams torture him. I really like that this sense of like, I still like these people, and my harm was just stealing from them. This harm is totally different. Like there's a line drawn in his emotional sand, and I think the main character, what's it, John Stewart, whatever it is, I forget his name. I'll look it up. Yeah. Damn, his performance in this with not talking for like 80% of this movie is spectacular. Like this is a top performance in a horror movie. Like just on the DL, just like emoting. You could see his focus. You could see his inner turmoil and emotional life. Just like really well done. Cool mask, I wrote. The goldfish in the electrocuted water, just like the little details like that.
Yes.
Again, animal harm. But that whole sequence of him throwing Larry down, poor Larry, throwing Larry down and then standing on him, especially with that like through the glass shot, like with the water and that point of view of the water or the floor. What I did find interesting in the homophobic scene is that that's the word that stopped him. Now, I wonder if that was just a 2009, like, that's the most offensive thing you can say to me type of thing, or is that a character choice that he made where that really affected him? Maybe I'm thinking too much from a lens of now, where like that's some sort of a subtextual thing. I just found that very interesting. How that was used in that scene. Do I think that should not be in there? Yeah, sure. I don't think it should be in there, but the way it was used was more layered than I expected, I guess. I don't know.
I think there is something to that, because the guy is wearing all black, tight-fitting clothes with like a leather daddy mask, you know, so like it's kind of emasculating this like very scary, very like, you can't mess with me. I know everything. I have set every trap. I know everything you're going to do. Like maybe that's the one way his brain was like, oh, I'm going to tear this guy down by like saying he's a pussy, you know, saying he's a wuss, saying he's gay, you know. Maybe that's that kind of makes sense to me. I
Yeah.
don't like it.
No, neither do I. I'm not justifying it. I don't think that. I think you could achieve the same goal with different words, different tactics. But I just found that, and especially for the time frame that you had mentioned, Josh, the time frame this comes out at, like that feels like early 2000s, like true, like this is how I'm gonna get him with this word. And then the cockroaches in the skin is maybe my least favorite part of this movie, in a good way. Least favorite part. Oh my god, he throws the dog. I forgot about that. And the ending makes me sad. I was really, because like I just really found myself rooting for him. Like big time. And then when he's thrown into the box, I honestly, knowing that that this movie franchise continues, like I didn't know anything about the second one, nor am I going to say anything about the second one, but like that just having not watched it, that gave me hope, because I was very engaged in this guy's story. And then I was like, what happened to his daughter? Like, they're not going to be okay either. Like,
as soon as that car runs into the ambulance, it's very much like a breathtaking moment of like, I was not expecting that.
No.
Yes.
Because all of the things are settling up, and he's about to go into the hospital. He's like, call my wife, I got the things. And then it's like, well, nope, it's not going to be a happy ending. So crazy.
Yeah.
But I think this movie is a fucking banger. Like, this is a great horror movie. Like, truly, maybe one of the best home invasion movies, up there with like Hush. Maybe.
Hush,
or
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, or You're Next.
Yes.
Stuff like that. But yeah, what a banger.
Also, Brian, just to mention again, you were talking about the wife's kind of decision making, and I was really thinking a lot about the decision making of each individual family member when when Josh like interacts with them. It's like the first time that the dad sees Josh, it's like, oh, this is your doing and you're doing this. He's like, no, I'm trying to help you. And it's like the same with the wife, and then even with the eldest daughter and her demise, because she succumbs to one of the traps, which that death was also wild.
Well, totally. And the setup of all of that, because they trust him during the day, when we get a sense of his relationship with the family, we understand that they kind of allow themselves to like trust him, because once they figure out that there are two people in the house and he's not a part of that, like, honestly, the stakes are high. They have no other choice. But like, that makes it more believable. Also, any other movie would have just had the dad being like, "What the fuck are you doing here? It's you," and then cut those for time's sake for the second and third person in the family. But this one keeps it in, and it makes it feel more real. That's more of a detail. Like the mother being like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And he's like, "Don't worry, I'm here to help you." Like, cool, that's fine. But that one moment makes you buy into the reality of the situation.
Absolutely.
The things you leave out can say way more than the things that you keep in, if that makes sense, in terms of like me buying into this. And I bought in totally.
Yeah. Agreed.
Also, it's a good rewatch. Just as a great last note, if you've only seen it one time, it's a good rewatch for sure.
You should start collecting those rewatches.
God. I will get that. I will make sure that I will watch this again, because I do want to get more of the Easter eggs, especially when you're talking about Brian, the opening scene with the exterminator, because they were lingering on him for a long time when he was like, hey, there's a wasp nest, like, can you handle it? And then there's just like lingering on the guy just being like, yeah.
And him also, the opening of the door was like, oh, that's the only truck we're gonna focus on.
Right,
okay, buddy.
Right. Yeah. Any other likes and gripes before we move on? Nar? Okay. Fantastic. Well, let's move on to brains. Tasty. Okay, so we must. Billy or Stu, the collector, Jamie.
Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative. It's a scream, baby.
Billy or Stu.
Let us know.
Yeah,
I feel like I know
no, I mean, it's also been like a hot minute since we've done this, so gotta keep it going.
Yes.
What you just said, you think you know what I'm gonna say, so what do you think I'm gonna say?
I think Billy is very calculated. All them damn traps.
Yeah, we
Yes.
still can't figure out how he was able to do all of that, but he did. Therefore, that is where I was leaning as well.
Amazing. And just as a reminder, Jamie, because we haven't done this in a while, please tell us what Billy or Stu means, especially for our new people listening to us.
Yeah, we're trying to we've acknowledged that Billy is more of a psychopath. This is also like Scream reference, so if you several steps behind that
spoiler alert also for Scream.
I hope not.
I hope not either. Like, if you're listening to us and you have not watched anything in the Scream franchise, it's like, love you mean it, but let's start
pause
there.
now.
Yeah. Pause now. Go watch Scream.
Watch six movies and 2 seasons of television. Come back and
I forgot about the TV show.
I also forgot about the TV show. But yes, Billy, our psychopath from Scream, Stu, our sociopath from Scream. Psychopathy is considered, and again, this is like big generalization and sweeping big. Take this with a grain of salt, but considered more calculating and severe as opposed to sociopathy, which is a little bit more erratic and impulsive.
Yeah. And the collector, again, is definitely a Billy because very, very calculated in all that he did. Great.
Yes.
My last question is, so you were kind of alluding to the lead helping this family and like what it takes to help someone else when your life is in danger, right? And I just keep thinking about the fact that he was out of the house and then he sees a little girl and he goes back for her. And even if they don't have like the best relationship, it just feels like he's just being compassionate for a child, which a lot of the times we don't see that, especially because this is not his child. It's somebody else. So my question to you is, why do you think that we sometimes see people not having such compassion for other kids as they do for their own? And as someone who is a new parent, how has having a child kind of shifted your view about like children in general, if it has changed at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think also this question can be like the scope can be even wider of empathy in general and, why people choose to care about other people, period. Whether or not, like, I think that empathy comes from like being able to understand somebody else's perspective, whether or not you have a shared perspective on that situation. Like, you don't have to have experienced that in order to care deeply that somebody is going through it. And maybe you have gone through that situation, so you also have that empathy. I think that the latter is challenging in a world where like things are happening and, caring about other people might seem few and far between. And it doesn't have to come from like that personal, like, oh, well, I only get it, or like, I only care because it's affecting me, versus like, you should care because it's the right thing, right? Like that it's like, caring about other people because like we're all part of a collective humanity and like that's a good thing. That's why. And again, I think that sometimes folks who have a hard time understanding empathy don't internalize some of that until they have been through certain situations, which like glad you got there, but it shouldn't have to take you going through something in order to understand someone else's perspective. So, so I think like, I'm all for empathy, very pro empathy. And also empathy is different from sympathy, where again, it's like really putting yourself in someone else's shoes of like, feeling what they're feeling, and understanding that, versus sympathy where it's a little more disconnected. You're not necessarily, you know, putting yourself in the same circumstance as somebody else.
Yeah, you know what? That reminds me of during the height of the Me Too movement, people who are just like, I'm a girl dad. Like, I stand with, I'm just like, you're, yes, great, you have a daughter, but also like, this is a human being who, like, yes, like,
A mother.
like,
Yeah.
like, what do
A
we
sister, like
why
all of these
is this
things.
the thing that like it just felt so performative? It's just like, shouldn't you
Absolutely.
just care about these people regardless of like who your relations are? You only like empathize because you're saying you're a girl dad. I that bothered me so much. Or like the bumper sticker that says like baby on board. It's like you should be driving like a normal human being around every car, not one that just has a baby on board bumper sticker. You know, like that kind of stuff.
Wait, so this kind of brings me into my question. So this movie came out a year before Instagram was a thing. And so it was made probably at least a year before that. So it's before social media. It's before kind of like news fatigue, you know, of the just where we're at now. Do you think if this film was made today that he would have the same empathy, that he would like react the same way? Would he go back into the house or would he not?
Yeah,
So
I mean,
interesting.
That is interesting.
God. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I really
because and I don't want to get hyper political about it, but like there's so much going on in this world, like for example what's happening in Gaza, and we see children in the news all the time, and there becomes this desensitizing feeling, you know, that we all, I know, feel at certain points and that we loathe about ourselves. And it's the most confounding thing to be living in an era where everything you see in the news, whether it be another country like that that's in this horrible genocide war situation, or what's going on in our own country over the past, you know, how many years since everything started being live streamed and all that stuff. So not to like I don't mean to bring the whole podcast down.
No.
I just am really genuinely curious. Like, I think people are who they are in their soul. So maybe he would have still gone back in, but would there have been a part of him that's like, oh geez, another fucking thing. Everybody's got their thing. A girl stuck inside.
Yeah.
That's so real.
So I think he would, because when it comes to something like a Gaza or things like that, like it's a big event that we feel helpless towards and have like no real control over. Where in that moment he is there, he has a kid, he knows exactly what potentially those parents are feeling, like that their kid is up there. They asked him to. I think that because it's a more intimate setting in which he can actually make a difference, I think that he would still do it. I do think there would be a very different, I think you're right. I think there's going to be a very different conversation in his own head in making that decision. But I still think he goes in. And if anything, like, I bet that's an even more powerful decision because of the way that we are desensitized to a lot of things. Like, I'm wondering if he left, he would feel guilty, but would he feel as guilty as he would in 2025 that he would in 2009? Like, I don't know. But I think because he could have helped in what is not necessarily a helpless situation. I would hope that he would do it.
Yeah, same. My heart hopes so.
Yeah.
And I think even people who are like, you know, you get your fans of a Serbian film who will probably be like, yeah, fuck that girl, I wouldn't go back in, like I'm not going up against that guy or whatever. I think still when you're faced with it person to person and you see this helpless human on the other side, like who's the person who doesn't? You know? Stu or Billy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, I would like to believe that he would still go after her, because I think, like you just said, Brian, like the core of the person is still there, and how they set the movie up, even with her interaction, like going to her tea party and stuff, like it's very believable that he would go
Right.
back based on just information given in the movie, even if we don't know the full scope.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would have.
character.
I don't know if he would have gone back if he didn't have a personal relationship with that family, though.
Right. But
Yeah.
at least the movie gives us a personal relationship to where
Yeah,
we're
no,
not
totally.
here.
No, I mean that's on purpose, obviously. But yeah, I wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful.
Yeah, that's great. Anything else? No. But this is a great question, Josh.
Yeah.
Really something to think about because context always matters, and Jamie always says this. Context
I
is
do
key.
say that.
I
We
listen
need
to
that on a t-shirt.
Yes, we do.
It's the one other thing that just keeps popping up in my mind. And Brian, you talked about this a little bit. But the concept of like the thief being a true like human being. I don't know if anybody's watching Task, but it's a HBO show with Mark Ruffalo. It takes place in the same cinematic universe as Mayor of Easttown. If you watch
really?
that. Yeah, and it parallels from the very beginning this kind of bad guy, and then Mark Ruffalo being the good guy, and you're getting their stories served equally, and they are both equally human. You know, just like in different situations, and I just kind of love that, and that's another thing I loved about this film, and I found just like psychologically interesting is I'm going in here to like, you know, get my magic gemstone, and and he turns into this, you know, hero who's just like trying his best to help other human beings.
Yeah, which makes you even more invested in it. You know?
Definitely.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Awesome. Well, should we Rotten Tomato this?
We should definitely Rotten Tomato this.
It's the Rotten Tomatoes game.
All right. What do we think this has on Rotten Tomatoes? Nikisha, let's start with you. What do you think The Collector has on Rotten Tomatoes?
I'm going to say 82. It might be high.
Jamie?
74.
And Josh?
I think I'm going to go a little bit lower because I know that there were barriers for the visuals a little bit and the editing style. So I'm going to go like, and I know that people are like haters of good things. So I'm going to go like 58.
This is a 29% on
What?
Tomatoes.
Up.
And the audience score is 48%, which is wild.
Wow.
Revisit this movie. If you gave it such a low rating, revisit this movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
The critics' consensus is increasingly tedious displays of gore makes this torture porn home invasion horror more programmatic than provocative.
Yeah. Watch it again.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Boo earns.
It's a cool movie. Thumbs
Yeah.
up,
It is.
Nikisha.
Thumbs up.
All right, let's switch to Letterboxd. We're going to guess the Letterboxd score for those of you who don't know. Letterboxd is 0 through 5 with decimal points. Why don't we go reverse order this time, Josh? Why don't you start us off?
3.29.
All right. Jamie.
3.4. Now I'm nervous, but I feel like I'm feeling more hopeful about Letterboxd.
I'm going to say 2.9.
2.9. This has a 3.02 on almost 80,000 ratings.
All right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think that's valid. I think that's a fair rating because 3 is good, right? And anything above 3 is heading towards great.
Yes.
Very
I mean,
fair.
this 3 kind of tracks for the audience score at almost 50% on
Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. The third most liked review is when person dies. Ha ha ha! Nice. That was really cool. I liked it when the bear trap dug into his forehead. me when the cat dies. This is honestly really fucked up. I don't know who made this or who enjoyed this, but they seriously have some moral issues and need to stop making this kind of disgusting content. How the fuck is this sick shit entertaining to people?
That should have more likes.
Oh, that's so good.
This has 1,200 likes. All right. In number 2, we have, at first I was all like, yo. Then I was like, yo. Then I was like, yo. But then I was like, yo.
100%. I think that is probably the most accurate.
Great reading of that too, Ryan.
Thank you. That was a cold read. The most liked review is just emojis. It says The Collector, and it's got the 2 eyes and lips, but because Letterboxd has a black background, it looks like the Collector in the mask.
Amazing.
It's very cool. Yeah.
Amazing.
Cool. All right. Should we do the 4 S's?
Yes.
Skull, scare, shakes, and suggestions. The Talking Horrors 4 S's.
Okay, the 4 S's are skulls, scares, shakes, and suggestions. What does that mean? Skulls are how this handled mental health and human behavior on a scale of 1 to 10. Then we do on a scale of 1 to 10, how scary was it? And then shakes, 1 to 10, how much is it going to stick with you? We'll do those, and then we'll go round robin for the suggestions. So, Jamie, why don't you start us off with your 3 of your 4 S's?
Sure. For skulls, I gave it an 8.
Whoa!
Okay.
I know. I'm like, does that make sense? Am I still cool with that? I think that I am cool with that because I feel like, again, there's a lot of empathy on display and a lot of like kind of watching him make certain decisions. I also think that like the people who are going through it are also reacting in a very real way. It's like even him trying to direct them of like, don't make sounds, like don't move. And them just kind of like, reacting with like fight or flight kind of situation where they're just trying to get away. Like that feels very authentic. So that's part of what, inspired that skull score. Yeah. For scares, I gave it a 4.5. Even on a rewatch, like it's still really horrifying and disturbing, like knowing that all these terrible things are about to happen. So yeah, it's gross. And then for shakes, it gets a 7.5 from me. This was a really impactful gory romp, and would definitely recommend it, or at least revisiting it if you have seen it before.
Sure. Nikisha.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this skulls a 6. I'm gonna give the scares a 4 because what really got me was when he was trying to escape for the first time out the window, and that blade chomps on his hand, and he's trying to pull it out. Hate it, but loved it in the best way. And then shakes, I'm gonna give it a 6.5. It was a really fun, and I can't wait to revisit it again because I feel like I'll enjoy it even more.
Sure. Josh?
Skulls, I'm proud to say I was already thinking 8. It just seems like it just seems like real things people would do. Maybe not the collector himself, but the way people reacted to him. Yes. Scares, I didn't find myself super scared as much as I felt like anxiety and tension, but that was also paired with a lot of joy and excitement. So I gave it a 5.5, kind of like roundabout the middle. It probably notched up because I did think the cat scene was pretty scary. And then shakes, I gave it a 9. I think I watched this probably about 6 months ago, and I think about it all the time. It just like pops into my head of like, man, that movie's crazy, So yeah.
I'm persuaded by you. I was going to give it a 7, but I'm giving it an 8 for skulls. I give it a 4 for scares for the same reasons that everyone said here, and I gave it an 8 for shakes. I absolutely think about this one all the time, and I also think about it because of how we watched it the first time, that we just weren't expecting what we got, and so like it was just like I love this movie. Suggestions, Josh, why don't you hit us with your suggestions first?
All right, I got a few. So for something similar, high tension, If you're not familiar, French home invasion film, and it's gritty like this one, both in the way that it's shot and also just kind of the gruesomeness. And then for cinematography and tension, I put Good Time, not necessarily a horror movie, but again, just like really, really high anxiety, and visually cinematography is like very similar. For editing, again, not a horror movie, but Man on Fire. If you thought the editing in this movie was a little like Man on Fire is that times like 10. Plus it's Denzel and Dakota Fanning.
I was going to say, is that Denzel Washington?
Yeah. That movie, that was around the same time that I saw Saw. And I remember as a young aspiring filmmaker, I just was like, the editing is so good in this movie. And then later learned to appreciate editing that you don't notice. And then finally, as palate cleansers going into the holiday season, Violent Night and Better Watch Out, because they both have booby traps.
Love.
Nice. Wait, which one is Better Watch Out? Is that with one of the Skarsgård?
Better Watch Out is like kids and they have a babysitter. And
it's
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Nikisha.
Yeah, we've already said Saw, so I'm just gonna throw that in there too. But then I was thinking about like horror heist movies, and then it reminded me of Abigail.
Oh,
yes,
get stuff. So
that's a good one.
Yay!
Horror heist is also an excellent subgenre that we should like explore.
Let's make more horror heists. Thanks.
Yeah, into that. Jamie.
Yeah, so I also had Saw, but specifically Saw 2 very much feels like the vibe. I also kind of get vibes from the Midnight Meat Train.
I love that movie.
Never seen that.
It has such a dumb title, but it's a Clive Barker written movie. And what's his name? Isn't Bradley Cooper in that?
Yeah, Bradley Cooper.
Oh my God. Yeah, very cool movie.
I've only seen it once a really long time ago. But yeah, that's what this really, that would be in the 2-pack for sure.
Nice.
Awesome. I'm gonna keep it super simple. I think you should watch The Collection. That's literally what we did. I don't think that it detracts from this movie at all. Like sometimes sequels can be like retcon. Oh, nice. That's mine. Super simple.
Amazing. Well, that wraps up our episode of The Collector. You can follow us on the socials, Instagram, TikTok, at Talk Horror Pod. And producer Brian, where can they listen to us?
Wherever you get your podcasts. YouTube. Hi, YouTube. You can find us, of course, on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts. Rate and review us there. 5 stars, please.
And thank
you.
And then, Josh, can you remind the people? It's in the description, everyone, but can you remind the people where they can find you?
Haunting season. I'm on TikTok and Instagram for the most part. And I don't know. I'll probably be doing stuff all over the place. And it's not really announced, not really out there yet, but we're putting the finishing touches on my first horror feature that I was a creative producer on. It's called Demonetize. It's through JWatt Productions. And I'm very happy to say, you know, like there's a process in the editing where you're like, I'm a sham. I'm nothing. I'm worth nothing. And then the sound design and the color gets done. You're like, wait a second. This feels like a movie. I had that moment the other day, and now I'm extremely excited to start talking about it. This is the first time I'm kind of mentioning it on anything. So
that's
called
awesome.
Demonetized by JWatt Productions, and I think it's going to be real cool.
And next year?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, we got to go through the process now of submitting to festivals, and then hopefully somebody picks it up and we get distribution. But Alex Watson, who made Bundy Manor, and I met him doing a TikTok to support their Kickstarter. He made that movie for $60K, and it ended up getting on Tubi and became like a pretty well watched, like high ranking movie on there. And he made this one for $300,000. So if you can imagine the quality jump on that, like we're very excited to get it out there.
Oh, very cool! Congratulations!
That's so awesome.
Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Amazing.
Maybe it'll get reviewed on some podcast someday.
We will love it, and we always love having you, Josh. So thank you so much again for being here with us. And yeah, that's it. Don't get collected, y'all. Keep your stuff safe.
Don't get collected.
Don't get collected. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.